I think I see some muskox. Good morning, everybody, from Deadhorse, Alaska. I stayed at the Aurora Hotel last night, and it was great. They have everything you need. The Aurora Hotel was built for the people who work the oil fields and provide services to the oil fields, but you can stay there as a tourist if you can get a room, and I was super lucky to just call last night and get a room. I don't think that happens very often because they are booked well in advance. But I think it's a great hotel. I mean, obviously it's not fancy and it's industrial, but it was neat as a pin. And they have breakfast, lunch, and dinner included. Good food, good breakfast, lunch, and dinner. They send you away with a packed lunch. And dinner last night was fried chicken and mashed potatoes and all kinds. They had all kinds of sides, including fresh fruits and vegetables. Good stuff. I think part of the reason it's neat as a pin is you have to put shoe covers on before going inside, and that keeps everything really clean. They also have free laundry, including detergent and fabric softener. It is also very quiet. Like, you may be able to hear that it's very noisy outside, and it can be noisy 24 hours a day because there's people doing stuff and working 24 hours a day. It's quiet in that hotel, and that is huge. A lot of hotels do not manage to get the quiet part down. My favorite part of the hotel, they have good water pressure. That is so key. How much more can I gush on about the Aurora Hotel? I really like it. It's obviously not going to be the hotel for everyone. If you are committed to luxury hotels, that's not it. And I guess if you're deciding whether, would I like this hotel or not? Maybe, do you like the pipeline? Do you like trains? Do you think semi-trucks are neat? If so, you might like this hotel. Those are all things I think are neat, and I like this hotel. Deadhorse exists because of the oil fields, the Prudhoe Bay oil field. And the Arctic Ocean is just 8 miles away, but you have to get on a bus and take a tour. That's $85. Not that the hotel was inexpensive, but since I'm already going to Tuktoyaktuk, where I will be able to just drive to the Arctic Ocean, I'm not taking the tour. I'm walking out behind the hotel right now to Lake Colleen, and it looks kind of oceany, but this is not the ocean. Is that a snowplow blade? I think that's like a snowplow blade. That's my guess. A crazy industrial Arctic snowplowing blade. Or maybe it's just for leveling the roads, I don't know. But it's part of a big piece of heavy equipment. It's very foggy this morning. And you can look out across Lake Colleen to all the industrial infrastructure. I think I've puttered around the parking lot enough for the morning. And I'm gonna go get back in the car and start heading back down the highway, because there's only one way in and only one way out, and it's another 414 miles till the end of the Dalton Highway. It also happens to be 34 degrees outside, so getting in a warm car is very welcome. There's no mosquitoes, so that's good, but it is a little chilly. 34 degrees also means that my outside GoPro is gonna freeze up. It's inside. Before I leave town though, I need to stop at the general store. I stopped there yesterday, but it was closed. And I'm hoping I can get some stickers and maybe a patch. I also need a moment to clean off my brake lights because can't see them. I may have gone a little overboard on all the stickers and patches. Oh, but when am I gonna be here again? I don't know. Probably never. So I'm getting all the stickers and all the patches. And they had a pretty good selection of stuff in there to choose from. It's a nice little general store, like a 7-Eleven, but then they had clothing in there too, and all the souvenir stuff, and yeah, good little store. And well, yeah, it's time to really hit the road now. Aurora Har. I had to use Google Maps to get out of town. It's a really small town, but it's a little confusing because the streets are filled with industrial stuff and a little challenging to navigate if you are not very familiar with it. So, maps. And I totally forgot as we were driving down the highway. I'm Katie, this is my Jeep, and we're traveling the Dalton Highway right now. And it's awesome. I'm about 30 miles south of Deadhorse, and the clouds are starting to lift. And behind me is the Sag River and the Franklin Bluffs. And hopefully on my drone, I caught the cool blue ice. I'm not sure. I couldn't really tell from the picture. But hopefully I caught some of the cool blue ice I've been seeing on this river. Across the road, which is gonna look super tiny in the camera, there's a little lump out there. That's a pingo, which is where there's a spring in the middle of the tundra, a freshwater spring, and vegetation grows over it, and then it freezes and causes basically kind of a large frost heave in the middle of the tundra. It's kind of neat. I did have some delusions of grandeur that I was thinking about kayaking on the Sag River today, but it is so cold. That's not going to happen. It would be dangerous. And neat though, because apparently you can kayak here without a shuttle because the river snakes around and kind of goes in a U shape, and so you can kayak a long way but only have like maybe a mile road walk to go back. But yeah, it's cold. Hypothermia would be a very real danger, and so we will not be doing that today. But if you decide to drive up here and you have a nice warm day, kayaking the Sag River is an option. And now my goal is to find a muskox. A bunch of muskox would be even better, but I would settle for just one. The area I just drove through, around mile 20 to 30, is supposed to be where some of the best muskox viewing is. So we may have missed our chance, but I'm going to keep my eyes peeled. I haven't made it very far down the road, but I saw this campsite yesterday, and it's a good campsite. I have a pretty good view out over the Arctic tundra, and maybe some muskox will appear while I'm staying here. That hits the spot. Pretty basic sandwich. but filling and good and free. Well, came free with the hotel room. I'm gonna keep my binoculars handy, and if I see any critters, I will grab the camera. For now, I'm crawling in there and booting up the computer and gonna do some work. We'll see you guys later tonight, probably. I'm tucked up in the Jeep editing videos, and it's been miraculous. I don't have a screen or anything on my back window, and it's open, and there's no mosquitoes. And I don't have my mosquito things going. It's great. And while no muskox have arrived, this little ground squirrel did. He's just chilling out there. He hasn't moved for a long time. He's just chilling. I've blacked out the Jeep as much as I can. I have scanned the horizon for critters, and no critters are showing up. And I think it's time to turn in. I realize the sun is still quite high in the sky, but we are in the Arctic Circle, and we are right around the solstice, and that sun is not going down. So the blackout on all the windows is pretty vitally important if you want to get any sleep. So I'm diving in and getting some sleep. We'll see you guys in the morning. There are no critters. It is very peaceful here. And the wide open tundra is kind of beckoning me for a walk. You kind of have to walk in between the shrubberies, and it has largely the smushy ground that feels like you're walking on pillows. I'm assuming that the smushy ground probably actually helps the plants be resilient to trampling by caribou and muskox and me. Because it bounces right back up. Being in the wide open really helps you appreciate what the sun is doing above the Arctic Circle. I mean, I know theoretically that the sun just circles around here, but actually experiencing it is a whole nother thing. Like it's really cementing what the Arctic is about. The sun is behind me right now and is not quite as high as it'll get in the sky, but it's close. And so it's going to get a little higher back there and swing around, and you're still going to see it, and it's going to start to get a little bit lower and lower and lower, and then tonight, right back there, it'll still be in the sky, but almost looking like a sunset, like almost. And then it's going to start to swing around and go back up again. It's pretty cool. I think one of the nice things about the Dalton Highway is you always know where you're going. You don't have to make any decisions except for, hey, maybe I'd like to stop and look at that pretty thing. No choices. Sometimes it's nice not to have to make choices. That's my philosophizing for the day. I somehow missed this little overlook on the way up. I suspect I'm going to see a lot of things on the way down that I missed on the way up. But we're going to go check out this overlook. It is the Sag River Overlook. There's the Sag River. It is the Sagavanirktok river. It's another one of these braided rivers that I saw a lot in Denali. And basically as it comes out onto the floodplain, it splits into multiple channels and becomes a little slower flowing. And there it is, with the Brooks Range in the background. These signs are so dusty. This one's talking about migrating birds, and this one's talking about the tundra. It's interesting. So the clumpiness of the soil here were grasses and sedges that were clump grasses that decomposed, you know, died and decomposed, and then other things grew on top of them. And that's why it's lumpy. It's prettier in that direction with the Franklin Bluffs. I love the mud. One of the questions people may have is, can you do this road in just a regular car? My answer to that would be absolutely yes. There are some areas where you'd have to watch out a little bit for potholes and some rough road. But yeah, you could totally do this in a regular car. Some of the cool campsites along the way might not be accessible in a regular car, but yeah, you don't need a big built overland vehicle to drive the Dalton. I mean, think about it, semis are driving it every day, and while they do have really good clearance, they need pretty decent roads to be able to get a semi down them. So yeah, you can take your Subaru. A Subaru would be great. Better gas mileage, decent shock absorption, and that's the killer. The Jeep has terrible shock absorption for this kind of road. Like, you feel every washboard. You definitely wouldn't want to take a vehicle that you cared about the paint job a lot on. It's gonna get some dings, it's gonna get some dents, high risk of windshield damage. But yeah, a regular old-fashioned car could make it down here. You wouldn't want to take something with super low clearance, like a Dodge Charger or something. But your everyday sedan, yeah, could totally do the Dalton. Came down this nice little turnout on the road to the river to see if I might be able to fish there, but there's a really steep drop off, and the river looks super silty, so we're not fishing here. As always, it does not show up well on camera, but that's like 8 feet down to the water, and it just drops right off. I found this nice little creek here, and I think I can get down to the water, and I just started walking down to it. I guess it helps if I actually bring my fishing rod. Let's try walking down to this little creek again. Fishing rod in hand now. This is a very pleasant little spot. Gotta see where I can get down to the actual stream. Waders would be really handy right now. I think I'm gonna cast up into there. I did not put my reading glasses in my little fishing bag, so this may be a little tricky getting this fly strung up. Maybe that's, whew, got it. I don't know if you can even see him, but I'm using this teeny tiny little mosquito guy. Back in the car. I just figured out that my GoPro may have been on photo that whole time instead of video. So we'll see if anything came out. I just went and did a little fishing. It was unsuccessful. It's a little warm out there. My thermometer is reading 69 degrees. That's warm up here. This big valley I'm driving through is called Happy Valley. And from my understanding, a lot of times you can see caribou and muskox out here, but not at almost 70 degrees. They're gonna be like hunkered down somewhere. So I don't think I'm gonna get to see any more muskox or caribou, at least not over here. I'm still keeping my eye out, but it's not likely. And the shrubbery out there is deceptively tall. So if you had a muskox laying down or a caribou laying down, you'd be hard pressed to see it. And quite literally, after I just said that, I think I see some muskox. And I think I might be able to kind of walk out toward them a little bit. There are absolutely muskox out there. I can't believe I finally spotted some muskox. I'm not getting any closer than this, but I'm gonna try to get them on camera. That's so cool. I'm hoping I can find a spot where I can see some closer. But yay! A whole little pod, or whatever a herd of muskox are called. Very exciting. Technically I could have walked closer, but I don't want to. I want to keep my distance from things that could harm me. I've been checking out all the little side spurs off of the Dalton to see if there's any good fishing. There's not here. The river's too silty, but this would be a great camp spot. I'm probably at least a quarter of a mile off the road, and look at this view. Lovely camp spot, but we're not staying because I should make a little more progress down the road. I know we saw the Brooks Range coming up the Dalton Highway, but it's a totally different perspective here. And the clouds make it even more dramatic. It's beautiful. So beautiful. Ooh, sudden downpour. Those clouds weren't kidding. I'm going through a slippery section. They've just put calcium on the road, and it says go 20 miles per hour until dry. I don't know why they put calcium on the road. I will have to look that up. But it's slippy. I put my four-wheel drive on for a minute because it's a little slippy. Gives you time to take in the sights though, which are beautiful. No sheep though. These cliffs over here look like they should be home to some doll sheep, but I have not spotted any as of yet. As far as campsites go, this will do. It's right at the base of Atigun Pass there. And just surrounded by beautiful mountains on all sides with the Atigun River running by. And it's starting to spit rain and I'm starving, so I'm making a salad real quick. I'm just throwing everything I got in here. Not throwing the actual lemon in there. I put my dressing on at this stage because the dressing is really for the lettuce more than the other things in there. So I went dressing on the lettuce. Pop some olives, tomatoes, grapes, cheese. Always have to add cheese. And I think I'm calling that good. I'm gonna eat my lovely dinner salad. And I may make some ramen later, but I don't know, depends how I feel. It stopped raining for a little bit for me to sit and eat my dinner outside, but it's starting to come down again. So I'm gonna crawl the Jeep and say goodnight to you guys. And I wanna thank all of you for coming along with me. It's just amazing that you're coming along on this journey with me. And if you like this video, hit the subscribe button. It costs nothing and it really does help. We'll see you down the road.